We're going to be visited now by one of the wonderful people from the organization Jupiter Band Instruments. KHS America is the sponsoring organization. Jupiter Band Instruments is an awesome sponsor of this webcast today, of banddirector.com and of Arizona State University's Band Day. And indeed, Arizona State University is completely a Jupiter and Mapex drums band. So you got over 400 people out in the field with these instruments. So we're going to have A.K. Kist come here. He's the district sales manager for this part of the country. A.K., come on in. And welcome here.
Thank you very much, Sam.
A.K., you're from Southern California, right?
I am. I'm from down in the Orange County area in Southern California.
Ladies and gentlemen, the next group to perform.
So we're gonna be visiting with you, if you have the time, over a couple of bands about things. But the other interesting thing about you and your life is that you're a percussion judge, a percussionist of note, and you're in the music business, you know, the business of music as well. So I'm going to be talking to you from two different angles, you know. What you hear, what you see, things like that. We'll do a little bit of visiting. But I think one of the coolest things is, for me, is the improvement in Mapex drums. It's like, well, I'm a witness to that because of all the work we do at Arizona State. And the work with sounds and woods and these phenomenal bass drums that have been coming out. So, you know, that's an exciting thing that we all are waiting to see what's next. You know, when you build things like tubas and euphoniums and baritones, you're really interested in what the latest sounds of drums is, because those combinations of sounds is what powers up a band the way we have been experiencing lately. So congratulations to you and Chris Hankus and people like that are moving the design of drums forward, field drums forward.
You know, it's been a lot of fun to work with the company. Chris Hankus doing a fantastic job as the percussion marketing manager, and just bringing the battery percussion to a whole new level and changing a lot of things. It's just a blast to work with such a fantastic team of guys.
That's awesome. I'm going to call this next show, it's Greenway High School. We're lucky today to have A.K. Kist with us, who's the district sale manager for Jupiter Band Instruments and Mapex Drums. He's also in the Southern California Judging Association as a percussion judge. Is that right?
Yeah, I've been doing that for a couple of years, and I'm actually vice president of the association and out there almost every weekend in Southern California.
Wow, I'm honored to do it. Permission to talk to you. You know, it's like, that's awesome. Tell us, you know, here, this is interesting that you visited our booth here at banddirector.com with David Knox from banddirector.com, and you come up here, and this is an extended battery feature in this show, and there's a large enough pit to really comment about. Tell us what you saw and heard.
You know, very, very fun show to watch from a lot of different angles, but one of the things that I was impressed by with this group is they had a fairly large battery section, especially compared to the number of winds that they were placing on the field.
Right, the ratio. I got that.
And
yeah.
A lot of times for groups like that, when they have that larger battery section, it's really hard for them to keep it controlled and to blend well with the rest of the wind body. And they did a really great job of doing that. What I also found that I really liked in that group was they did a very nice job of communicating their musical message and incorporating that with the wind package. You know, sometimes you'll see a great drum line out there and they're doing a great job as far as, you know, throwing as many licks in there as they can and showing off the chops, but it doesn't always communicate the musical message, and they did a fantastic job of communicating that message and being right there with what the wind book was doing.
That's awesome. That's awesome. How about and then the drums took the fore. You know, they took over, and that hasn't happened since 8 o'clock this morning, actually. So you must have heard about this show. But tell us what happened when they took over. Everybody, it was easy to keep our attention on them. That was good. They held our attention the whole time.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and they did a very nice job of putting in a percussion feature that complements the rest of the show, and also did a good job of showing off their front ensemble and their battery section at the same time.
Right,
a lot of times instructors have a tendency to be battery-centric or all in the front ensemble. They did a nice job of blending the two together while keeping it interesting. We saw some really nice visuals coming from the group, which, you know, always does a good job of keeping the audience's attention.
Right, AK. I hear that. I mean, it's the entertainment factor has turned up here every year that we've done this. it's better. It makes for better watching and listening to a show. But when they start to feature more than one section at a time, you start to realize the relationship in our field of outdoor music. It's awesome when there's a lot of distance between them and they stay just as tight as if they were indoors playing music. That was a cool thing. In terms of Sun Devil Stadium, good place to listen to music?
Fantastic place to listen to music. I mean, we've got a nice large stadium here, and even some of these smaller groups that we've seen so far in the morning have done a fantastic job of really filling the stadium with sound, and that's largely due to the way the stadium's built and the acoustics of it. But it's really been an entertaining show today to watch these groups perform in this stadium.
Absolutely. There's an interesting thing about the fact that when I said hello to you, one of the first things you mentioned was that the small band sounded good, and that's also a tribute to in our region of the country, where before 2008 we were a boomtown, and the boomtown caused a lot of the regions to split because we were building high schools. I believe we're north of 60 high schools now. So every time you keep splitting one, the bands start to halve. And a lot of times during the pre-2008, we saw a great deal of schools that were exhibiting only a freshman class or only 2 years and then 3 years and then sometimes 4 years would finally show up. But they still presented the bands here. So then after the financial crunch and the budget cutbacks, we start to have people where the budget's causing bands to start to get smaller. And then they've absorbed the impact of that shocker. And you start to see thank yous from these bands, from parents associations, the Target Foundation, all of these places to find help in a bad time to keep their bands going. And so on the other side, as some of these bands have thrived during this very tough time and have bigger bands than they did, the ones that end up smaller are being taught very, very well. That's the other thing, is like never give up, and you see the adaptability of some of these teachers. It's incredible. Do you see that in California?
Oh, I imagine we're seeing it all over the place at this point. But yeah, California, same thing. A lot of new high schools getting built back in the last couple of years, and that split a lot of different schools. But what it really puts the pressure on these band directors. When you're fielding somewhere between 60 and 100 kids on the field, and you have that medium-sized group, to be able to arrange for that group, to be able to put together a visual package for that group, it takes a lot of skill and a lot of work. And
ladies and gentlemen, the next group
what I've seen these drumline instructors, band directors are doing, and not to mention all the effort that these parents put in, on a weekly basis. They're out there supporting their kids, driving trucks, getting the instruments there, hauling them onto the field. I mean, it's remarkable.
That's really great. We're going to visit with you later in the day. I'm so glad you're able to stay all the way. Our last show tonight is Arizona State University Sun Devil Marching Band. They're going to be on at 8:21 Pacific time tonight. So we promise to give you potty breaks and refrigerator breaks, and you can stick with us during the day and meet people like A.K. Kist and other visitors as they come up here to the booth with David Knox from banddirector.com and myself. I'm Sam Pilafian, Assistant Director of the Athletic Bands here at Arizona State University. And it was a great pleasure to talk to you, and especially on the subject of percussion. Thanks for doing that, A.K.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.